Okay, just going to be working on this Husqvarna 136 chainsaw from 2002, it says. A friend of mine dropped off. He said he got it going, but it doesn't stay running, and I just tried it, and it's same thing's happening for me. So it will run with the choke on sometimes. It's been sitting for a couple of years, so I'm pretty sure it just needs the carburetor cleaned and the fuel cleaned out. Yeah, we'll take this one apart, take the carb out, give it some carb cleaner, fresh gas, dump this gas out, and see how that works out. Okay, so just dumped the gas out. Pretty stinky old gas. And when I was doing that, the fuel filter fell out, so that's probably not good. The fuel line in there is pretty corroded, pretty old, just broke right off when I was shaking the fuel out. So put a new one of those on, and yeah, we'll start taking this cover off. Oh wow, oh, the air filter's pretty bad too. So we'll blow that out, clean that out. It's pretty bad. So we're gonna have to remove the carb anyway because that fuel line's broken. I probably, if the fuel line wasn't broken, I think I probably just would flush it with carb cleaner and put fresh gas in, but we got to get to that fuel line, so we'll take this off. Cover. Slides out right there. The throttle linkage, it just pushes that. Pretty simple. So okay, so there's our fuel line. Take that off. I got some new stuff. Yeah, it's really old. We'll just cut that off. Okay, and then that's out. So we'll clean that. And then the fuel line goes into the tank here. We'll just pull it out, and we'll cut a piece the same length. And we'll just kind of blow all this out. We'll plug this hole. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do a full clean of this. Might as well while we're in here. Okay, so you got your gasket. And then we'll clean the jets. High speed, low speed jets. So these little plastic cam sort of covers on the jets just pull out, or should pull out. And this dust cover should come off. Throttle linkage. And we'll just keep that choke linkage on there for now. Okay, so we'll take out the high and, actually let me blow this off quick. Okay, so we'll take out the high and low jet screws. So this is the high speed jet. So we're just gonna keep track of where it is. So we're gonna screw it all the way until it bottoms out. Half turn, 1 turn, 1 and almost a half turns, so we'll just remember that. So 1.5 turns on the high speed jet. See, and this is where things really get gummed up. Little needles like that. And then the low speed jet. Oh, you can smell the gas. Smell it? It's pretty old. Like the gas now has ethanol in it, which gums up these plastic parts and rubber parts quite easy, and it just generally gels up after it's in storage for a while. There are some places you can still buy ethanol-free gas, and it's great to use in small engines. So just work that gasket off, little diaphragm there. Looks all right. Oh yeah, like look at this. See this little filter here? Let me get the light. This is what you want to see when you're taking apart a carburetor that doesn't work. You don't want to take apart a carburetor and it's perfectly clean. So hopefully you guys can see that. Maybe without the light. So that's literally just grime in that little, it's a little brass filter almost. It's just full of grime. So we're just gonna pop that out. I think we can get it out with a pick. Yeah, like that's the gelled up fuel. Hopefully you can see that. Just like gummy crap. There we go. So it's just like a little flat cup shape filter, totally plugged. Kind of, you can see the gelled up fuel in there as well. Brown, nasty. So we're going to take the needle out. So this is the setup of that. It's under a little bit of spring tension. So it's basically like a hinge. It's a lever. Spring. And then that's the needle valve in there, so we're just gonna dump it out. Okay, so that's pretty well as far as we need to go. We don't need to take the throttle or the choke out. Like there's nothing really in there that can get gummed up. All the ports are opened. I mean, we're just gonna flush this with carb cleaner, blow it out, and put it back together, and we should be good to go. Okay, let's get back to reassembly. So everything's cleaned out with carb cleaner. Put our needle valve back in. And there's a little bit of rust on this little hinge, but it should be okay. That's the ethanol holds water as well. So we'll just put that hinge through this little lever. Okay, let's get this screw in to hold everything. Oh my God. Okay, there we go. So we're back in place there. Spring can move up and down on the hinge. All right, and put this little diaphragm back. There's a little cover. Okay, flip back over. We're going to put this little flat filter we have back in. Basically, so it just sits there. I'll use this to push it down. So it just sits down in there, like that. Okay, we'll put our jets back in. So we'll go with the low speed first, which will be the smaller threaded one. Springs are the same. Screw it in till it bottoms out. Not crazy tight till it bottoms out, or you'll ruin the needle. High speed. Okay, so high speed was almost 1.5 out. So half, 1, and almost a half, and low speed was almost 2. So half, 1, half, almost 2. Okay, then we'll put this cover back on. Onto here, that, and then we'll put it back onto the chainsaw. But we got to make that fuel line first. Okay, so I just installed a new piece of rubber gas line. I just put it in, I guess got the screwdriver in so the gas doesn't leak out. So I've got it pulled through the tank hole there, and just gonna get it out here, put a new filter on the end. Filter, oh, right here, new filter. Set on, drop back in the tank. So I just want to show you quickly what I got going on here. So I plugged the fuel line that will be going to the carburetor. So I just used the 3/32 rubber fuel line, similar to what came out. And I've got this full of gas, and I always do this because this is, with these ones, it's pretty much like a friction fit seal. So where it comes out of the tank there, it's literally just the friction around the hose that's sealing the gas in. So sometimes, you know, when you got tools in there working the hose in and things like that, it's really tight, it's a really tight fit. You can sometimes damage the hole without knowing it, and then you get it all back together, and then it's leaking, dripping gas, and it's just the most frustrating thing ever. So I always fill it with gas, and I put it on its side so that you know you have fuel against the hole, and kind of move it around, move the hose around like it's running, and just let it sit there for a while, and just make sure there's no fuel anywhere on the ground or anything like that. Just make sure there's a good seal. So it's looking pretty good, but we'll leave it there for a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna start installing the carb. Put this gasket back on there like that. Let's make sure it's on these tabs. Here. Sorry about that, guys. Air filter cover. Put this on that. Gassy. Okay, we'll just clean that off, wire brush and torch. Just take a ohm meter here, multimeter, whatever. Turn it on. Make sure it's on ohms. Small engine spark plug should be between 5 and 15,000 ohms resistance. So from the tip here to the spot right here, got 8.78. So that's 1,000 ohms. And so like I said, between 5 and 15,000 ohms is spark plug's okay. So cover has to be on for the throttle to work properly.